The person, the man, the icon, the legend, the leader who I'm standing with is Dr. P. Shyama Raju. And he is the Chancellor of REVA University. I guess, why I've used all these adjectives is because I've missed the most important, the youngster in front of me. Because Dr. P. Shyama Raju is above 70. I couldn't believe it. But, okay, maybe we'll come to that a bit later. So, Dr. Shyama Raju, first of all, please let us start with what exactly does REVA mean and how this name evolved.
Rukmini Educational Vision Academy. Rukmini is my wife, whom I lost in 2003. We started in her name.
That's it. And what I learned is that you shifted from infrastructure to education. That's a fairly unlikely jump for a lot of people, because normally if you're in infrastructure, you've got a different mindset. Education needs a different mindset. So the first question is, how are you finding this transition?
Yes, it is a very good question, because I have built Divyasri. We have reached a stage, I can say peak. At that time, I was 54 years old. I could have retired.
Yes.
But I lost my wife in 2003. Her wish was to start educational institutions. And then at the same time we were discussing about what we can give back to the society from Divyasri, whatever we achieved so far. Then it came to my mind, why can't we start educational institutions? Anyway, her wish was also that. At the same time, educational institutions are the right way or forum to give back to society or serve the society. That is how I ventured into educational field.
So first you take from society, but through infrastructure, and then you give it back through education.
Yes.
Fine. It's absolutely perfect, sir. And of course, very noble. So education is a very dicey thing, because I was talking to even Sri Ravi Shankarji yesterday, and one of the things that we were talking about is that people are not even understanding what education is. So I'd like to ask you, what is your concept of good, wholesome education?
According to me, it is very simple if we really address to the issues what the stakeholders are facing or stakeholders are expecting from educational institutions. Stakeholders means students and their parents.
Right.
Nowadays, parents will have one or two kids. They doesn't mind to invest on their kids. But yes, selecting the right course, right institute is important. According to me, the people who are really want to do justice to the society or do justice to the stakeholders, they have to have their mindset should be like thinking, having the society in mind and stakeholders in mind. They have to work. What I mean to say, people who are running education institutions, there are three types. One is as a business, other category will be like business and service, whereas third category will be only as service. We belong to third category. Definitely whatever we are doing is a service to the society and giving back to the society whatever we achieved through the business. That is what we are doing. That is why I am really a very, very happy and satisfied life I am having. Even though I wanted to retire at 55 and now I am 71, I am happily working here. Even I don't mind even working extra hours for the benefit of the stakeholders.
And the stakeholders, the major stakeholder is, of course, the student.
Yes.
Including the parents, the teachers, and society. You know what, Dr. Raju? You are a very lucky person, because you get to spend a lot of time with youngsters.
Yeah.
You get to learn everything that the new generation is picking up.
Yes. Yeah, that is there. Actually, I can say because I am always dealing with the youngsters, that's why I am looking always young.
So, we are the secret. The secret is out. Sir, tell me one thing. Why do students come to a particular university? They always have certain aims. Like one is they want to see what the teaching is, how a particular course ranks, how a particular university ranks. So both these rankings are important. And then whether the entry is easy, teaching, pedagogy, the curriculum, how serious the teachers are, what are the extracurricular activities, and finally, what are the employment or placement structures, are they in place or not? So if you consider all this, give me just 3 reasons why students would want to choose to come to REVA.
See, I always believe I have to do my job, teacher has to do his job, and stakeholders have to do their job. Means timely they have to pay the fee,
Yes.
support or cooperate for the teachers and the system. My job is whatever the required for the benefit of the students, I have to provide in time or if possible in advance. That is what I am doing. I always tell to our teachers, teaching profession is a noble profession and our teachers should have ethics and you have to do the justice to our job.
Okay.
Through this, if you really achieve this, automatically admissions will happen. Academics, which is process of whether it is class syllabus, teaching, then examination, evaluation, all these things are process that will happen. Placements automatically happen if our syllabus is good as per the requirement of the industry or companies who are recruiting. So what we do, we will have the industry people and other multinational company people in our syllabus committee to preparing itself. That is how the placements.
So that's quite unique. Let me say, because not many places would be having the placement companies having any influence on the syllabus, but because the syllabus is after all a very sanctified thing and it comes from the boards of the university. But then yes, a university has all the rights.
Yeah. So because that is the advantage of having the university. Otherwise, if you are affiliated, then problem will be there. Because affiliated means they whatever syllabus they give, we have to run. Here it is not like that.
So what I understand is that industries normally complain of students not being market ready or job ready.
Yeah.
But when the industries are having an influence on the syllabus, if they are making sure that all this is already done, do you actually get such complaints from once the students are placed?
No, every year we will get the update from or feedback from the people who are recruiting companies.
I think this is a very unique feature, okay? Because all those universities who are not following this, they really need to listen to Dr. Raju very carefully. Because when universities, they are stakeholders, the companies outside who come for placement, and they have a right to have their voice.
Yes.
Okay, so this done, let me hop to a completely different area, sir.
Sure.
Last year, after ages, India had the pleasure, the honor of having NEP 2020. So, okay, what's your impression and what are your apprehensions?
I have gone through the NEP 4 or 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, recently also, I made one of our director to present that in detail. He presented it took about 4 or 5 hours and presented. So now every teacher knows about what is NEP. NEP is, according to me, it is good in long run.
Okay.
Definitely good.
Okay.
But how it takes off. And there are some hiccups in that. Yes, that is negligible. Once those issues are addressed, and if they don't meddle with that again, this will definitely be a very nice.
So what are those issues which need to be addressed?
Clarity should be given, that is when they are going to implement, number one. Number two, they are talking about 2030. Now in the system, we have that is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 is the NEP.
Yes.
Now it is not like that. So now, who are all running PU colleges, for example, they will not be there. They will not exist in future. So that is into the from 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. That is how it will go. So in that case, it requires a lot of study on that, and they have to, most of the institutions, they have to establish in that direction, and it takes time. For that, government should definitely support and give clarity on.
Okay, so what I guess is, what you're trying to say is that it is the concepts that matter, but they matter so long as the implementation is proper.
Switching over.
After all, great sounding policies can be made, but if they are not implemented by the government, by the administrators, by the policy makers, if the right amendments are not made, then everything fizzles down to...
Yes.
So there's a
otherwise, NEP is a good...
okay. It's a good development.
Good development, yes.
Fair enough. So one of the things in NEP, and you did kind of touch that area, is the FYUP, the 4-year undergrad program.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, in 2011 or so, Dr. Dinesh Kumar in Delhi University introduced it, and there was such a hullabaloo. The students' union and even the teachers' union, they protested, and ultimately in 2014, when BJP came to power, Mrs. Smriti Irani, one of her first actions was to scrap it. So I really do not know what happened to those students who were admitted under this program. So FYUP is back. Almost like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's back. Okay. How does REVA perceive the FYUP? Do you have the obviously you don't have the FYUP running.
Yeah.
So would you be shifting to the 4-year?
Yeah, definitely. That is, see, in NEP there are a lot of advantages here, particularly for the stakeholders. That is, if a student discontinues taking the admission in UG course, and he could not able to continue for 3 years degree or 4 years degree. So first year he can have the diploma certificate course. If continues 2 years,
yes,
diploma certificate they will get. Continues degree will get. But here this is because that is why 4 years degree compulsory 4 years degree. That is what happening in all US universities. Many universities are doing in the world. And at the same time, integrated, like, for example, if you want to do PhD, for example, PG is important. A person who completed UG with 4 years degree, 1 year will be a PG. Or integrated means by UG and PG 5 years they can complete. There are a lot of advantages there.
True. So obviously this is a multiple exit program, and which is supposed to enhance a shift, a gravitation of students towards skill learning, because all those who are not interested in academics can develop skills. So far as REVA is concerned, what's the status of skill learning? I mean, like,
we have a skill development school itself here.
yeah.
This is a continuous process what we are doing. I always believe hands-on experience, practical experience, project, and we have live projects. So that is the advantage with I am deviating subject whatever you ask. Okay.
Yes.
We are from a business background, and we are from the development background and construction background, and we have our own internal architecture team, construction team. For that, the advantage with us is we will give the hands-on experience. We have projects from what is the scratch to plug and play level.
Okay.
So that is the advantage. Now, even this in pandemic, blended education happened. Most online, immediately switched over to online. But in this, even the central government also, MHRD, they told further it will be a blended education. That is online will be there, whether it is 30% or 40%.
Online or offline.
Both will be there.
Yes.
So what happens through this, some of the certificate courses for skill, to improve their skill, available.
So, connected to that multiple exit program, what happens if a student leaves after the first year? Do you just let him move out of the university, or do you have some short-term vocational courses where he can actually shift from an academic-oriented degree to another course? After first year, second year, third year?
Yes, that is possible, but so far we have not, because we are also thinking about that to introduce.
So what's your opinion about this?
Yeah, we want to introduce that occasional this thing also. Student who leaves after 1 year, he can also come back to the occasional course, or he can join again in the same, even 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, 5 years later also. Second year he can come and join. Again he can leave, again he take the break and come and join in third year. Those facilities also, advantage also there in the NEAP.
So again, the next question was, how does the university take care of the weakest of the weak? After all, we are a country where the weakest of the weak, poor people are there, who cannot afford expensive education.
Correct.
So, minorities are there. Then you have women and people on the other side of the caste barrier. They feel so left out. Does the university connect to these sections or segments of society properly?
Definitely, we can. But these are all preliminary, that is, the time is just still preliminary stage, I think.
Right.
To address those issues. But overall, it is a good plan. It can be implemented. And while implementing, we may get some hiccups, but it is definitely beneficial for the students who studies and the stakeholder, parents also, because if a parent could not able to feed his son or daughter for all 3 years course or 4 years course, they can take break, again they can...
So, Dr. P. Shyama Raju, there is... I was talking to Dr. Raju here some time back, and it was an off-camera little conversation, and we had some very interesting revelations about discipline. I'd definitely like you to tell our readers, or rather the listeners, because I'll be transcribing the whole thing, and so there will be readers as well. And how is discipline perceived in the university?
I always believe discipline is very, very important, and discipline plays major role in everybody's life.
Okay.
That is how I have brought up and practiced so far. Always one should give importance or value for money, time and words. These are 3 important things in life. There is no history a disciplined man failed in life.
True.
If they follow 3 things, that is,
Yeah.
keeping up words, giving value for money and time.
So, you have promises to keep, which you must.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah. You have to deliver.
And you cannot take pangas with time.
Yeah.
Because time is very cruel, Yes. So yes, the students need to learn this because it's not just a question of time management or something as dry as that, which, but then, yes, if the university is helping a student understand the value of words and the value of time, this is simply wonderful. Sir, education on a pan-India level, what changes do you think other universities should make to make education as interesting and as productive, as meaningful as you are trying to do with REVA?
I don't think I can give suggestions to, or I am not that much experienced to give suggestions to other universities. But I will tell how I am practicing.
Okay.
I always believe we have got lot of responsibilities. That is, I am talking about all educational institutions have got lot of responsibilities to build the nation. Or one should have the concept, having the society in mind. We have to create the syllabus, bring in that same discipline what I am trying. Educational institutions have got lot of responsibilities, like bringing the awareness in students. That is, they are the youngsters who are going to face the what are all the challenges they face once they pass out from any institute for that matter. That is about the environment, about the nature, about the global warming up, or even I can say challenges in life, and even if at all future generation, if they fail, we are responsible. That is what I feel. Because
so that's quite important, sir. It's like what you're trying to tell us is, or tell the listener and the reader, is that the interaction has to go beyond a mere textbook,
yes,
beyond a mere classroom.
Yes.
So which is extremely important. What about interdisciplinary education that NEP has been talking about? Like, when on our way to this place, we noticed that you've got civil engineering, mechanical engineering, architecture, but then, so now all these departments, they are very accustomed to, architecture is accustomed to teaching only architecture related subjects. Civil engineering, so this interdisciplinary thing where, you learn other subjects, so how do you think this will happen?
We have both here, interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary courses.
Okay.
If you ask any developing country, we should have science, engineering and technology. All three should work together. Science, engineering and technology. Technology is required and engineering also required. Science also required. For example, Sriharikota, they are using all these missiles, all those things.
Yeah.
But for that, science is required, engineering is required to plan it, technology important to fix it.
True.
So all these things we have in the university.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are, even for example, electronics engineering, computer engineering, management course, all these like that 3 or 4 or 5 courses together, they are doing, we have courses in that. By the time, even a student who are pursuing this management will be knowing about legal, will be knowing about arts and humanities, like that. We have even performing arts here.
That's interesting, sir. And one last concern, one last question. So there is a concern because of late in the last few years, what we've observed is that a lot of universities are popping up, coming up, which have a very unique proposition attached to them. You've got Patanjali with the university, you've got C. Ravi Shankar's university, you've got Ashoka in Delhi. All these people, they come out with things which are very unconventional, that our students will have, of course, the degree and the subject and discipline and everything, but also a spiritual awareness. those kind of things. So, do you think that it is time that all other universities started thinking in terms of this kind of integration, or what?
That will take time. Yes, it is required. If you ask me what we are doing, for example, we have yoga, must, they have to.
Oh, it's
Yeah, there are
mandatory.
Mandatory means they have to learn. We have introduced 2 credits for that, mandatory. Performing arts, dance, music, sports, yoga, like that. We have a lot of 9, 10 courses like that. They have to definitely do something in that. They have to earn 2 credits also into that. So those things are there. At the same time, multidisciplinary means 3, 4 schools together, their syllabus will be prepared in such a way, and that multidisciplinary courses most of them are doing those courses.
Interesting. It has been a very interesting conversation with Dr. Shyama Raju, and the last question that I'm going to ask him is, what message do you have for the world at large, for all the stakeholders?
I always say to our team, some of the parents are borrowing and paying fee. Some parents are selling their properties and paying fee. Out of that, whatever fee they are paying, you are getting salaries out of that fee. And you have to do your justice to and you are definitely have the concern, and your students should go out like not only with a degree, even with some extra skills and with a disciplined degree, what we always say.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shyama Raju, and this was an interesting conversation with the Chancellor in a university in Bangalore and interviewed by Education Post. Thank you.
Thank you.